Hello, we're going to make a video that shows what Jolly Time Ragdoll feeds their kittens and my adult cats. Um, all of my cats eat nothing but the raw diet. It does consist of muscle meat, some organs, sardines, a little bit of vegetables, and a little bit of starch for fiber, and also a supplement. So I will show everybody how easy it is once you get used to prepping your items. It's very simple to make, and you can also make it in very big batches and freeze it, and you won't have to do this but once a week or once a month depending on how big your batches are. But kittens that go home to their customers are already on a raw food diet, and they're also on Purina Kitten Chow Naturals dry kibble, and this is the food that they are eating. They get this in the morning, and then their food is taken away at 12 o'clock, and let this food digest, and then at nighttime they are fed their raw food. Now, I would prefer them to be on nothing but a raw food diet, but I know a lot of people may be grossed out feeding their animals raw food, or just don't have the time, or they just don't feel like they're prepared to be able to make a food for their cats. So this way the kittens are used to either being on a raw food or a kibble, and you can go either way, whichever diet you prefer for your cat. Now, like I said, Jolly Time does prefer for your cats to be on a raw diet, being that their coats look good. The kittens love it. Their poop is very minimum. They get a lot more moisture in their diet. You will see more urine in their litter box than you're going to as far as poop, because they're actually digesting this food and drinking more water, which is great for cats. So let's begin. Now, I have done a lot of prep work to make this video a little bit shorter, but we are going to do a 2.5 pound batch. And this should last a kitten at least a week, I would believe, depending on the age. Now, I'm going to be moving this camera around a little bit. This is the supplement that I put in my food. Now, this is going to be a no bones raw diet for your kittens. You can give them chicken necks, very small chicken wings if you like, for bones. But right now, to make it simple, we're going to do a no bone raw diet with ground hamburger. No other meats added in as far as muscle meat right now. Now, you can later on add in raw chicken or pork if you like, but we're going to just start with the basic ground beef. And again, here is the supplement. It's called Renewed Pet Homemade Pet Food Balancer for raw or cooked diets without bone. And this has calcium added. Because there is no bone added to the food, it has calcium added to it. I will put a link where you can order this. These are all the items we're going to be using. The ground beef. This is heart, which I have already ground because I bought it in a 20-pound package, and I went ahead and ground that up. This is beef liver. Carrots and peas for my vegetables, a can of sardines, and we're going to add a little bit of oats for their starch, but I like to add oats for fiber, a little bit of water for moisturizing, and I believe that's about it for now. So let's begin. Okay, I love this big, wide bowl. I have already pre-measured. This is 2.5 pounds of regular ground beef. This is 80-20 as far as fat content. You can use 73-27 if you like, or even leaner if you like. If you find that after a while your kitten is gaining too much weight, which I doubt because they're growing and they need a lot of fat, a lot of calories. But if they are gaining weight, then you can just either feed them less or put less fat meat in their food. So there's 2.5 pounds. Where'd my spoon go? Okay, sorry. Gonna kind of just soften that up a little bit. Also, normally I would use a KitchenAid mixer, but I wanted to show that you can make this food very easily with very cheap items and very little equipment. All I'm going to use today is a cheap blender that I bought at a yard sale for $5. It's only has 400 watts and an egg beater. And also you will need a weighing scale. You will absolutely need a weighing scale for making this kind of food. So there's the 2.5 pounds of hamburger meat. Next, you're going to add 2 ounces of chicken hearts. Let's put this in the blender. You will also need 2 ounces of liver. I chose beef liver. For 2.5 pounds, I am going to need 2 ounces of carbohydrate mix, which means a combination of vegetables and my starches. 2.5 ounces. So let's measure 2 ounces. All right. All right, I have exactly 2 ounces, and this is what it looks like. Peas, carrots, and oats. Again, if you didn't see before, here's 2.5 pounds of ground hamburger. I am going to add the carbohydrate mix to the organ meat. Also, I'm going to add the 1 can of sardines. You will need 3.75 ounces, which is 1 whole normal size can of sardines, to your 2.5 pounds of meat. And the last ingredient we're going to need is your supplement. And for 2.5 pounds, you are going to need 16.75 grams. And this is where your weighing scale really comes in handy. So I'm going to put it on grams. And let me measure out 16.75. A little more. Okay, mine went to 17 grams. That's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is what it looks like. And we are also going to put this in the blender. So everything's going to go into the blender except for your ground beef. Now, to get it to mix up, you need to put some water. Doesn't matter, just as long as it's enough to get everything going in the blender. And obviously you want more moisture into your meat. So the more moisture you want, obviously the more you put in there, the more slurry it's going to be. And the less, it'll be more like a pate. Let's see. I'll put a little bit more. Okay, so I'll put about half this mug full. Let's put the lid on here. Okay, I'm very sorry I cannot find the cap to my blender right now, so I'm just going to cover it up with a rag right now. So let's just put that right here. And just cover this up with a rag. And that's it. That is your organ meat. Sorry, can you see that? This is your organ meat. This is your vegetables, your starch, which is all considered your carbohydrate mix, and your supplements and your sardines. And that's all you need. And then you'll mix this in with your hamburger meat. Whew, smell them sardines. And now, all you need to do is just mix it up with your egg beater. And that's it. I mean, you really couldn't get any easier than that. And that is your 2.5 pound. You can add more water, like I said, if you want to make it a little bit more soupier. I'm going to leave mine like this. And for one kitten, I'd say I would feed them twice a day. 3 times a day in smaller amounts if you like. Also, for the kittens that I have right now that are 12 weeks old, this regular ice cream scoop seems to work perfect. They get this 1 scoop 3 times a day. Now, if you like, you can just give your kitten a smaller amount of this, and if they want more, just give them a little more, as much as they can eat within 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, take the food away. They've ate it all, give them a little bit more. Again, like I said, with my own cats, they would get this once a day, and then they would be fed chicken necks or chicken leg quarters with bone in. And that's what I do for my adult cats. And here you go. Right now, this is what your kitten is eating. Regular kibble of this in the morning up until 12 o'clock. And then around 8 o'clock before they get ready to retire, they get as much as this as they want to eat. Usually about this much or just a tad bit more. Thank you.